Alright guys, welcome back indeed to our Path of Exile playthrough. This is going to be Act 9, Part 9. And so what we're going to actually do is I'll go ahead and first off go over all of the changes to our build over here and what we have actually modified. So first off, we are going to be replacing our gloves and boots. They're actually relatively the same in terms of the stats that I was looking for, but these ones just simply had the right color sockets that I want to go ahead and have. And I'm going to go ahead and actually try to link this one with you guys live over here. And I also got a new helmet here. This is actually going to be something a little bit different. So this will grant us an extra chance for crit strike. It also grants us extra attack speed, but mostly I just want this for the crit strike chance. So one thing to note, I already have enough crit strike chance for this build to actually run relatively decent. But the thing is that we will actually not deal any bonus damage with a crit. Unfortunately, with the amulet, we get a huge amount of crit, right? It's all to sustain our flicker strike charges. Now, also want to mention that later we will be removing this so we don't have to rely on this huge amount of crit that it gives us, but we'll be getting a massive amount of bonus damage. So let's go ahead and get started. So first off, the gloves I can just replace straight up right here. These we'll have to try to link, and we're going to go ahead and do that first before we equip everything. We also have a set of newer gems that we are going to be playing around with. So now we're going to do a cast when damage taken setup. So what that involves is we have to run cast when damage taken. So how this gem works, once we take a certain amount of damage, in this case it's 528 at its first level, at level 1. Some people like to keep these at level 1, some people will like to level these up. It depends on what you are going to be using it with. We're going to also run increased duration, so these things will be lasting a little bit longer. And we're going to be running Immortal Call. You can run Immortal Call, you can go Molten Shell or Steel Skin. It kind of depends on what you want to go ahead and go for. Immortal Call can make it so you take no damage for the time that the buff is up. So how it works is increased duration is just going to make it last a little bit longer. I'm also going to equip Blood Rage on it, so just in case if I forget to activate it, it's still there. But how it works is once we go ahead and take a total of 528 damage, this will actually be able to activate. How it works is it makes it so you take less physical and elemental damage for a short time. You can consume endurance charges, which is these little red charges that we'll deal about later, and we'll mention them. But how it works is it only lasts 1 second though, so it makes it so you'll take 25% less elemental and physical damage taken, and you get 15% less physical damage taken per endurance charge removed. So if I was to, let's say, remove 3 of these, this would be 45% additional physical damage reduction on top of 25. At that point, yeah, you can get it up to an insane amount over here. But I like Immortal Call more than Steel Skin or the Molten Shell, as depending on your scaling, Immortal Call is really good if you happen to get those charges, which we'll plan to get later, and you don't have to level up this at all. So I like this for those reasons. It's basically Immortal Call is good in everything. Steel Skin can be kind of dependent, and same thing with Molten Shell depending on your build. But anyways, Blood Rage we've already gone over. It's just I'm going to make it so when I take damage, it's just going to auto cast it for me instead of me manually casting it. It can actually kind of be bad sometimes. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and set this up. So cast when damage taken, we got the Blood Rage, and then we've got Immortal Call, and the thing to make them last a little longer. So we're going to go swap those out. Now, we're also going to be changing some other things over here. So let me go ahead and actually just put these back. So the boots, these are also going to be new over here. I'm going to go ahead and remove the gem out. And we also got this helmet over here. Like I mentioned before, this is going to be kind of something new here. I'm not sure if I'm going to need to link these, but I do want to go ahead and equip it now. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the faster attacks and like that. Was it the leap slam that we have? So it's just leap slam, faster attacks, fortify. I need this to be something that might have 2 reds. Or I could just use this and get 1 green, which is much easier. Because this thing just has armor on it, it's much easier to go ahead and make this have what we need. So we're going to go ahead and use these, and we're going to go ahead and try to convert it. So what we're looking for is just 1 green, which shouldn't be too hard. There we go. So it took us a couple tries, and then now I want to go ahead and fully link them. If it would not have 20 quality, I would like to also make it have 20 quality by once again using those armorer's scraps over here. So I'm going to take these over here. These are the orb of fusings, and we're going to go ahead and try to get it so all of them are linked. And it won't take that many tries to get a 4 link. I'd feel pretty confident going into just trying to get 4 links over here. So now that that is finished, our last thing to do is actually obtain, I believe 2 reds is ideal here. So I'm going to go ahead and swap this out. Now we will lose probably a little bit of damage. I'm going to go ahead and move my face out of the way over here. And we have, let's see how much damage. And like when we're outside of town, our damage will actually be much higher, but yeah, so we lose a little bit of damage, but this still gives us damage because it's giving us attack speed, technically. So we also have to kind of think about that. But this grants us extra melee damage, and then also get 10 to 20 physical damage on attacks. But eventually we're going to go ahead and scale this out anyways. We can actually run Abyssius later down the line once we go ahead and get enough crit so we can drop a lot of other things. But for now, I can actually run either. It doesn't really matter, but I'm going to see if I can sustain the amount of damage with this thing. So anyways, let's go ahead and I'm going to put this over here. And then we are going to see how many colors we still need. Okay, so one thing I want to mention. So we're going to drop the thing that gives us bonus fire damage. We're going to run Herald of Purity as well as Flesh and Stone to get extra physical damage over here. So how it works is, let me actually go outside so you guys can see this. So we'll go ahead and start our quests over here as well. So we got to talk to Tsutsune over here. And there we go.
Torture.
And one of the quests is that we got to go ahead and get this powder. So we'll go ahead and exit over here. Actually, probably should stay in town. Actually, we're already over here. So I'm going to go exit so I can show you guys these 2 different stances that we have now. So the stance in this, how it works, is we're going to go ahead and use, let's put Herald of Purity on the helm. So we just need a Poacher's Mark. I don't really have to have. It's just something that was left over from what we were using before. We could still use it if we have room, which I think we will have. So a lot of people like to have Pride. I personally prefer to have Flesh and Stone as well as Purity. The damage number is higher if you can execute the target fast enough with having Flesh and Stone and Herald of Purity. These are both level 1. So to explain this real quick, Herald of Purity will reserve 25% of our mana, and Flesh and Stone will also reserve 25% of our mana. If we're in Blood Stance, we will deal 13% increased physical damage when they are maimed, but it's going to go ahead and do that anyways. And then with Herald of Purity over here, we're going to get 9 more physical damage. If you add both of these up, 9 plus 13, that's going to be much more than just 15. Now this does have a difference though. Specifically, this will raise its bar once you're able to make it so the enemy will stay there for a longer duration. I'm not going to worry too much about this because what I do like with Herald of Purity, it does grant us extra units, because what happens is we're going to deal more physical damage, but when we kill an enemy, we're going to be getting a sentinel, so we're going to be getting a minion now. We're not really doing a minion build here, but that's just something to go ahead and mention as well. But anyways, let's go ahead and convert these. Now these don't have to be linked at all. I'm just looking to get, if I can get 2 reds off of this, that's all I'm really looking for. It might take us a couple tries. I'm going to go ahead and go back into town real quick. Okay. So just so the enemy just wasn't really there. Oh, okay. That's right. It's going to stay there because it's not a new instance. Let me just clear this out. So we're going to go ahead and attempt to go ahead. And, okay, 2 reds. That's all I was really looking for. So what I want, Herald of Purity, Flesh and Stone. And then we did drop Herald of Ash. I was going to actually do Steel Skin, but it's totally fine because we'd have to level up. Pride can be good too. I just wanted to mention that as a heads up. And then I could still actually utilize our Poacher's Mark over here for bosses specifically. So I'm going to go ahead and put that Poacher's Mark over here. What is the icon of it? There we go. And then now I'm going to have 2 different buffs to activate. So we'll have Flesh and Stone, and we'll have our Herald of Purity. So this is what Herald of Purity will look like. Well, once we kill the enemy, you'll see it. And then with Flesh and Stone, here's what it looks like. So you'll see that right now we're in Sand Stance, and that's actually going to make it so it's going to blind enemies. Actually, hold on, do I have to mouse over to get the full explanation of it? So you'll blind nearby enemies while you're in Sand Stance, and nearby enemies are maimed while in Blood Stance. So I'm going to go ahead and actually go to Blood Stance over here, and you'll see by the indication of in the top left, it's just much easier to see here. I can't do this just yet. So there is kind of a build where you swap in between them and you can get bonuses, but we're not going to be doing that. We're just going to try to get that extra physical damage. But now that we've done that, we can finally continue on our playthrough over here. Well, hello Herb, hello Gart, and hello Talisaurus. How you guys doing?
do love the stink of
So one thing that I will mention now is that we don't actually want to level up our gems too high. The specific ones that are in the cast when damage taken, as once they require over level 38. Now you can see some of these little minions here. Once we kill some of them, you'll see that there's a little sentinel. They won't last very long anyways, but it's just them being there is kind of nice just for extra damage mitigation. So with Herald of Purity, yeah, we'll go ahead and level that thing up. With Blood Rage, this specific Blood Rage, because we do have 2 Blood Rages, it's kind of weird, but we technically can run 2 Blood Rage. Eventually I'm just going to just have the one with cast with damage taken, but I have another one anyways right here. So I will manually cast this one when I want to go ahead and have a higher level one, but the other one will override it once the cast when damage goes over in effect. It's just because this buff doesn't last forever. For example, if I activate it, you'll see the duration, and it just will last a little bit. It'll be more efficient if I just don't have to cast it, because sometimes when you're transitioning to a different area, or like the boss has a mechanic where he's going to take a while, it's just going to be better just to let it auto cast. Even though it'll be a lower level one, it's just better than nothing. So anyways, now we're going to go ahead and we need to actually activate our Dread Banner too. These are 3 of the buffs that will all reserve mana. Okay, now we're good. And looking at the level of our skills over here, so this one over here, Blood Rage, we need to make sure that this has a requirement that is not over level 38, as the cast when damage taken over here, it will only support skills that require level 38 or lower, unless I upgrade this. I'm not going to upgrade the cast when damage taken. So for the Flesh and Stone, we'll go and upgrade that. For the Blood Rage, we will also upgrade that. Alright. I'm sorry, I wasn't ignoring you guys in the chat over there. It's just, there's just so much to explain in this game. That's why, again, a lot of people just don't bother doing these, like, new player full guides, as it's, like, legitimately, it takes, like, 10 hours to get all of these things done. So yeah, Purity will upgrade. Blood Rage, again, I think it's like level 6 or something is what I get it to. Flesh and Stone we can upgrade. You notice this one I can't upgrade, it's because my character doesn't have enough intelligence. Yeah, I can't wait till we can just remove that, and in fact, I'm actually kind of curious. Oh wait, we cannot actually remove the amulet completely. I'll have to reactivate my buffs as they went away. Okay, so this one over here, increased duration. We can go ahead and level it up. The next level will be 34. Immortal Call over here. We're going to go ahead and make sure, once again, that we do not have it over level 38. So the next level is 36. We can actually get to the next level as well. What's this one over here? Herald of Purity, yes. And then the cast when damage taken, we are not going to level it up at all. So yeah, so what we'll do over here is to right click to dismiss without leveling the gem. So you just have to pay attention to the numbers and what you're leveling up, because usually you just level up all the gems. But sometimes you could not want to upgrade a gem for another reason, like if the mana cost would make something too high and you can't sustain it with certain builds. Because the effectiveness might be like 1% more, but like sometimes people run these builds where they just simply have almost no mana, and they would just rely on having more of these buffs to reduce their mana to get the buff. But the buff would have more value than the extra like 1% as the gem scales up. So where we gotta go? Some of these will make you look like all the way around. Okay, here we go. I'm going to the desert. There's actually a boss. It's a really cool looking scorpion boss. So now we're coming up into a league mechanic from a league called Betrayal. I'm noticing our damage is a little bit lackluster right now. Like, I can definitely feel like we're just so shy of being able to one-shot certain things. So increased duration, let's see. I'm gonna get one more and then that's it. With Immortal Call, we can go ahead and get one more. I think that will be it. Purity, yes. Blood Rage, we gotta watch again. Remember, 38 is our cutoff point. Once we go ahead and right click on it, so we just like dismiss the thing, so it doesn't tell us we have to level it up anymore. We'll just be able to keep on just upgrading all of them at once. But yeah, it's just good kind of notes. You can look up online the level of the gem. And like, you know, at level 6 it requires this level or whatever the case may be. And it helps out. But I'm just doing it without it, so you guys don't have to look it up if you don't want to. Yeah, our damage will start ramping up much faster. Once we get our 6th link, which will probably be within the next part or two. It depends on, you know, how lucky we get with some drops. But we'll be running increased critical strike chances for a little bit. Just so I can swap off of the item, and also will tell you with the level over here once you level it up. So this is increased duration, so the next level requires level 38. Okay, there we go. So with Herald of Purity, yes. Blood Rage, yes. And then with Flesh and Stone, yes as well. Because those aren't related to the other one. But like I said, once we do that once and get that out of the way, real nice. But yeah, we're going to just basically buy a corrupted 6th link. Corrupted items cannot be modified, but I'm going to buy it with the exact colors that I need, so I don't have to worry about it. And it's a lot of people will get what's called a tabula rasa, which is an item that has a bunch of white sockets, and white sockets can use any color of gems. However, the downside to tabula rasa is it has no stats, unless you corrupt it, which it could have like 1 stat on it, but it's very small. I think we need to see. We'll go get the powder, but we'll do that after we go ahead and clear the little like sandstorm. So I don't know what we're supposed to get. I think here or the next area. Doesn't matter. We have the waypoint, so we can warp back in. If it is 1 back. Requires level 38. The next level will require more, so right click on that. Was combat leveled up? That's good. Blood Rage. Oh, that's my other Blood Rage, the one that I'm supposed to manually cast. That one I can upgrade that one, but I'm eventually just gonna drop it. So we basically lose like I think it's 6 or 7% attack speed, but in return I just don't have to cast it anymore. We unfortunately rubber banded over that. Level up the Impale, and we'll go ahead and get the faster attacks, which is I think attached to our Leap Slam. There is the other mechanic for the Metamorph. It's for the Washer's Eyes. Now, I'm okay on just getting those now. My main goal is just to progress and get towards the very end as quickly as possible. This is a quest over here to kill this guy. We get the calendar and we turn it in. Contract. Ooh, there we go. Almost another level up too. But yeah, once we do this once, line support. I think that's in our like totem. Oh, did I? Yeah, I still have our totem. That's usually used for the mechanic for heist. However, they actually released a patch recently. And they made heist way easier. Like when you eliminate the guards, they no longer fill up the alert bar. I actually think it was better when it was harder, to be honest, but I haven't gotten to the very like end game ones, and obviously those are going to be even more difficult. Do we get the waypoint here? I don't think we did. I don't think we need to come back here. I think there is something that we'll need to go back for, but I'm just going to get the waypoint. So there's a Trial of Ascendancy in this area. For our build, we really only need to do the 3rd Ascendancy for like a huge like difference. The very last one is kind of mediocre for us because it's kind of reliant on us going to very low HP. I'm thinking about trying this build out anyways, since I'm going to be running Abyssius, which is a helmet that will make us take a lot more physical damage. But once we're at low HP, we're going to basically be able to get 100% more bonus damage. I actually have never tested this thing out. So here, let me actually explain this. So I was thinking about getting first to strike, last to fall, and what it does is it makes it so it will intimidate an enemy. Intimidating intimidating an enemy will make them take more damage. But, or in this case, is increased damage, because in this game, increased damage and more damage are different. More is the ideal one because it's multiplicative. And then if we happen to go ahead and get low life, we're going to gain adrenaline. What adrenaline does is we get 100% increased damage, 25% increased attack, cast, and movement speed, and 10% physical damage reduction. And also we gain 25% of life when we gain adrenaline, and remove all ailments. So basically negative effects on us when that does pop. But in order for it to be like valuable, you actually have to get to low HP. I'm actually not sure. I might actually just grab it next just to test it out. As this build, like I said, is going to be new to me, as I haven't ran Impale before. But, okay, so Purity, yeah, we'll level that up. This Blood Rage over here, we can get one more, and then we'll be done with that one. And then the increased duration over here, we're going to go ahead and not level that up. And Stone Golem will level up. Oh, speaking of that, I didn't summon our little buddy here. But I think we should just go buy an Abyssius. Like, the damage over here is, like, yeah, we have extra crit, but the crit doesn't really help out. Like, I think we were already able to sustain it, so we're going to actually just buy this live real quick. So, yeah, we'll just get basically any Abyssius at the moment. I would like for it to have... I don't really need Poachers, so I just need 2 reds, which I don't even have to look for because Abyssius is based off of strength anyways. So I'll type in Abyssius, and then I'll show you guys exactly what we're looking at. So I'm going to move my face out of the way, and here's what we're going to be looking at. So it's Abyssius, and there is something different with this. So you can search for an item that has, like, let's say if I click on increased physical damage, it's always going to be sorting it from high to low. If I click it again, it will still just kind of click on it. It'll just basically refresh what I did. I wish it had the ability to go the other way around. But anyways, we're just going to type in increased physical damage taken, and we're going to put a different number on it. So here we go. So we're going to type in increased physical damage taken. Now this varies. I'm going to go ahead and have to actually look this up because I don't remember off the top of my head. So the lowest is 40%. So if I type in increased damage taken, the maximum, if I type in 40, that would be the more expensive ones. But ideally, you want to, I'm just going to buy this right now and get kind of a cheaper one. But I still want to get as much as possible. Oh, unfortunately, this one over here has a corruption on it. So with the corruption, I can't really do too much with it. All right, let's go ahead and see what is the cheapest one over here. The cheapest one is that one. I don't know how much currency I have off the top of my head. Okay, I have 1 chaos, so we're probably not going to get it. Like, if I buy it for this, I can definitely buy it for that. But I don't think I have a chaos. Let's see. Actually, I can move one of these down, and then I can just go buy this one. So we're just going to go ahead and buy this one. Hopefully, we can buy it. Again, I don't know, because the reason why I buy stuff, again, off of our little play session is simply just due to people not responding, and it just takes forever sometimes. So we'll go ahead and give him a second here, and while he's taking his sweet time, if we can get it from him, I'm just going to go ahead and just at this point get out anyone, and just, if I can get, I'm sure I can get, oh no, that is legitimately the cheapest one, regardless of the stats. Okay, so if we can't get it, that's totally fine. It's not the end of the world. It's not like we can't run this build, but again, that's why I go buy my stuff off play session, because people just simply don't respond. I really hope, again, they make a better trade system in the future. But we're going to go ahead and talk to some of the people in town.
Be careful.
We got passive respect point for, I think, killing the calendar, or getting the calendar form. We have 2 more skill points. I just need a little bit more damage here. So if I can squeeze some more damage. Actually, what I should invest into, and what I'm trying to path to right now, is just getting some crits so I can remove my amulet, which therefore we can actually hit for crits. And actually, we'll probably actually respec out of a lot of these little attack speed nodes, as they're not going to be super necessary, because we're going to be attacking quite fast anyways, and I don't really need those. And then we'll also, eventually we'll do the thing where we're going to go ahead and actually go Illyria instead of Creighton. Okay, so we have to, okay, that's the Mortal Syndicate. That's first for another mechanic that we'll do maybe later. Okay. This is for another quest. I think this is... so we have to go here. Okay, so we gotta go Boiling Lake first. But yeah, if we can get that helmet, we'll be a lot faster. A lot faster. What's that? Scour. What a Scour Orb will do, we'll show off the mechanic later, but it just makes the item completely like neutral. Revert to its like base with no modifying. And it's used when basically like you roll like a map and you don't want to use a Chaos Orb. You can Scour and then basically reset it. But there's other applications to it as well. But that's what like most people will be using it for, like early on. If you get a map with a modifier, let's say like with reflected physical damage, like if we get reflected physical damage, we just die. We will like basically one-shot ourselves. So the boss is always like in the top over here. We can just rush towards him. Or I should say just the quest. It's not like really a boss. So here it is, the Basilisk. So we go ahead and get him down. Oh, he is tanky. I'll go ahead and throw that Poacher's Mark on him. But now I'm noticing we don't have any problems at all with sustaining our Flicker Strike charges because we have that extra crit chance. But we lost out on a little bit of damage. Which again, ideally we want to be one-shotting everything. It just makes things so much faster. Because then we can snap to the next target. Alright.
Hello.
So now that we finished that, we're going to go ahead and get the powder. And also we need to... Where's the... Oh, that's right. I think we... I'll double check that later. Queen of the Sands will grant us an extra skill point. So, but we need to get the Stormblade. Okay, so yeah, we do need the Stormblade. That's basically part of it. But we're going to complete this first. Basically just moving along the little quest line over here. You can see we're just going to go up and to the left. I'm actually tempted to just go back to my older helmet just because it adds that small amount of extra damage. And that is actually cleaning up things a little bit faster. Sometimes that happens with Path of Exile. You try something else out. Okay. Grab that. This is the one where we don't want to level it up. Okay. Okay, level it up. I think we're good on all the leveling up ones. This multi-strike. This one is armor. I don't really care about it, but after we start filling it up, it'll eventually go ahead and swap it to something else. I'm gonna also remember to proc that Fortify. So that's where we need to go, but there's another exit, and also I don't mind getting the waypoint. Something's not dying over here. Okay, there it goes. It was just probably lag, to be honest. So my hit chance is not bad at all. But I can't remove my amulet now because it either gives us... I'm guessing it gives us some type of intelligence or dexterity, which I don't have enough of right now to sustain. Oh, okay, so we got some stuff. Let's see what we got. Okay. But hello Shiki, how you doing? Playing Flicker again? Of course, man. But this time it's Impale Flicker, alright? It's different. Leslie... Oh, I'm just gonna go ahead and do this one right now, because it's right here. Go throw that thing down. Golokhan, Queen of the Winds. So basically for this boss's mechanic, you do not want to sit inside of the
I can't do this just yet.
The little tornadoes. Although sometimes with Flicker you have no control over it, and if I can sustain it, well, we'll just go ahead and rely on that. Sometimes she'll take her time to go ahead and strike. Doing pretty good for relatively low life, but like at this point, like 3k life would be pretty like safe. But I actually want to have low enough HP, so this will actually matter. Because that's 100% bonus damage, and on top of that you get an extra 10%, so 110% total from our next one could be kind of good, and 25% increased attack speed. Again, that's just a lot of stuff to get, but in order to activate it, we actually have to get on low life. So there's like a good middle ground between too much survivability and I guess not enough. So I think we can squeeze out 4k life with this. Because if I'm not getting that 100% attack, I could get, what is it, to do more damage? Yeah, this is just like defensive stats. I'd almost rather just go this. Although this, having Fortify 24/7 will always grant us this, which is extra damage and attack speed, as long as I have Fortify. Put my banner on Blood Magic? I could. I mean, it's only 10%. Or, like, yeah, you can reduce your HP. Just so it's, like, low enough. And then we could have more auras. Not a bad idea at all. Thanks for the pro tip, Shiki. But, what are you playing this league? But the reason why I really actually like having the Herald of Purity is just because there's more things that are on the screen, therefore you just don't get hit as often. But because I want to get, I was actually kind of curious to see like how low we would get if I keep on just scaling more damage instead of getting life nodes. Ooh, a Carcass Jack. Some leagues those were like super expensive. I don't know if it's super expensive now, but. Oh, General Adis.
I can't do this just yet.
Gotta hit him with that Poacher's Mark if I could hit him. There we go. So with these, you want to watch out for those little lightning things. I just don't have the sustain on my flicker charges right now. Ooh. Let's kind of step out of that for a second. There we go. Sometimes with Flicker it can just be unlucky. There we go, now we have all 3 charges. This guy's super tanky. I should have just went for that, the Pride. I was just thinking we just killed things fast enough where the other one's just, it gives you like a higher number. But like if the thing is taking more than like 4 seconds, then the other one's just much better. It's because we swapped our helm. Take the skill point. But yeah, I mean, this isn't going to even scale us extra damage at the moment. Like, we'll have extra accuracy, which I don't think was a problem anyways in terms of our offense. Our chance to hit, which is this one's 95%. I mean, let's see what it goes to. Oh, it's 99 now. It's 100. So, like, I mean, it's unless they were, like, evasive monsters, then that can matter. But yeah, I just really want to scale to get crit so I can just remove this amulet as I don't want it anymore. But yeah, going back to the other one might just be better for now. Yeah, wait, just go ahead and just go back. Sometimes that happens with POE. You're like, okay, I'm going to get this new item, and it just turns out to be worse.
That soon enough. Okay,
so now that we've gotten our item, let's go ahead and... Actually, what we should do is we should check out how much this is worth. I don't know off the top of my head, as different leagues, certain things are going to be worth a lot more. They can go up 10 times the value just because of some like new build or something. So, Dentrubate is the name of it. And it is not really worth anything. However, it could be just the stats. Sometimes, again, it depends. I roll as low as possible. Okay. So it's probably not going to be worth too much. And then this item over here, I don't think this is worth anything. I'll type it in just in case. And to check out the price, I'm just going to this over here. I'm just going over to the POE trade and just checking out what's like the lowest one. But you have to scroll down a little bit. Sometimes people will basically kind of fix the market. Alright, so actually let's just go ahead and just vendor these. They're just going to be wasting room over here.
Hello.
Let's go and see what these have. Get rid of that. Do we get another? We get another jewel. Okay, we actually got quite a few extra jewels. 10 resist is kind of cute. There's a roll up too. Oh, that's like perfect. Okay.
I will see you again.
Okay, we're good. Let's go ahead and just go right back. Oh wait, this is. I could just exit and just like go back down, but now we have enough portals where it's okay. We don't have to save it. But there is a cool boss, and we're gonna end up doing it anyways. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do it now. So there is, which one is it? The Stormblade over here. So we have to find this Stormblade, and it'll allow us to access another area. Here we go. See, we're hitting them and they're not going down. That's just lag. Hello, LFA, how you doing? So kill all the enemies. Get this. Take it with them. They'll like convert it to something they call like the bottled storm. But we do have another skill point, and we want crit right now. Crit chance. I don't really care, but crit damage, like, yeah, it's still, like, good. It's not like we're going to ignore it completely, but this one just for swords. Oh, it's just two-handed melee weapons. This one gives us 4 res. I'll go and grab that. It gives us 20. Accuracy. It's 60. I'm trying to debate if I really want that one. This is for swords. I'm probably just going to go swords anyways. There is one axe that's okay, Katava's Feast, because it gives us melee splash. Then I can have an extra socket in my item because it already grants me the melee splash. So I'm thinking about that too, which is an axe. Let's see if there's any axe crit. There's no axe. Let's see what's... That's not bad, but that's kind of far away. Actually, let's see. Yeah, it's too far to go ahead and try to prioritize. I mean, there's this over here, which gives us bonus damage, but I'm just going to look up where is the closest extra crit nodes. There is one over here that I plan to get because I plan to get this other frenzy charge. But I'm probably just going to end up going swords. I wanted to try to scale it so it was just two-handed weapons. Therefore, you know, I can get crit with, or I can start scaling anything. Let's see. Crit strike trance, crit strike trance. Oh, this one's not too bad, but it's kind of in an awkward position. Like, I'd have to get this. I think this is going to be just better to go ahead and path towards, as we'll get this, and then we'll also look at that extra jewel slot over there. And then, yeah, so we have 20. I don't need multiplier, I just need chance. So multipliers is more damage with crit. The other one's going to be crit chance. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead. Oh, yep, we're going to go take it over here. That'll give us the Bottled Storm.
Until next time.
Oh,
Well,
okay, there we go.
sometime.
There's the Bottled Storm. And then now we can go ahead and go to the thing that's blocking the Oasis, which is, I believe, over here. It's like an off path, but it'll give us a skill point. So this is the Mortal Syndicate. You just kill them, and then you get to kind of. It was for a league called Betrayal. I'll show off the mechanic later when like the rewards will be more so worth it. I had to recast my buffs because I re-equipped my gems. It's always important to do. Don't forget to do that. And then we'll buy an Abyssius probably. By the time this one ends, we'll get enough of those like things to go ahead and do the heists. We'll get like 2 or 3 Chaos Orbs, and then we will be able to purchase the helmet, and then we'll have a massive increase in damage. Should have replaced the helmet that we have a long time ago, but I just felt like our damage was okay, and our damage is still like okay. So this is Shikari. So you fight him for a little bit, or her. Then they're going to burrow in the ground. And then we have to wait for them to kind of engage with us. If we just go straight to the end, the boss won't spawn in. We'll just kind of sit back here. So it likes to pop up every once in a while. You'll kind of see like the areas that it'll go to. You just kind of follow it. I'll smack you every time. We're also building stacks of quicksand. To make us move a little slower. I've always wondered this, and I've never tried it. If you just like sit in the quicksand, like what happens? You just start taking damage. Like, what's the downside? You just keep on like stacking the slow. I was wondering if you could just be eliminated, and I'm actually really curious. And they're attacking us. Okay, that was just something I never like looked into. We're moving super slow. Oh gosh, it just took a while to get rid of like. It said we were only at 10 stacks, but I guess it can add more. I guess the effect of it doesn't really change once it's at 10. But the duration definitely felt like it was longer. Alright. So get the queen down. Yeah, this would be a very interesting build to kind of try out, as we're intentionally like trying to have lower life so you can activate that ability. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get that next. I can also like swap weapons. I can run a different weapon. This weapon is really cheap. It's like 10 chaos, and it's called Hitless. Every time it has blood magic built in. I can get a 6 link for 10 chaos. Like a regular one is worth like nothing. But I was thinking about just taking damage myself, then swapping weapons, since it's a really cheap weapon to purchase. Okay. So now we'll have Arakali, which is reduced damage taken over time, which is quite nice to go ahead and have. Usually I like to get this one because it gives you that chaos res over time as well. But yeah, we'll go and take that. Which again, we don't really worry about chaos res until the very end. So we'll get another skill point. Go ahead and pop that real quick. Let's So over here, and then we'll start getting all these. So yeah, I think we're gonna commit to sword now at this point, just because there's no. Well, there's. Let's see. Oh, there's crit with axe. How much is there with axe? Because there's this. Either way, I'm going to go this path, and this path over here has a lot more crit with sword. So with axe, I guess axe just doesn't have that much crit. These are just two-handed melee weapons, which would be everything. But in terms of axe, you have it's 40 multiplier. Okay, this is 25, 25. So you get total of 50. Because with sword, you get way more sword and crit. So yeah, I definitely just have to go, unless there's. I mean, this is like really pushing it because I can't go up this high in the tree. It would just be like a waste of skill points just trying to get there. So I think if I want to go crit, sword is like definitely the way to go. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and pick up these, and then also there's the. We'll probably get this first. Let's see, crit strike multiplier ailments. So we'll skip out on the ailments. So I'm gonna get this. So it's 20, 40. And oh, that's going to be, yeah, it's going to be 80% right there. And then we'll get another 20, 25. I'm going to skip out on the multiplier. Our multiplier, I'm going to run Abyssius for a while until I can afford Maligros, which will make us have 300% crit damage. But you can only have 300. You can't go over it. It just like forces it to be exactly that amount. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and continue on the main part of our quest, which is pretty much, I'd say, wrapping up this act, if I remember correctly, which is a little bit short. So 63, okay. And we're level 63 as well. You know, I used to use this for like leap as W. So I don't even have to click anymore. Just use my keyboard. And the thing I need to click on is, well, I need to pick up an item. That guy melted really fast. I cannot wait to get Abyssius, as it's a huge damage increase. And it gives us plus 125 crit damage. Which is a nice little DPS buff. And we're critting like every single time. Our crit should be, like default I believe is 150 for our damage. So it's basically 50% more damage.
I can't do this just
But then with Abyssius, it's going to be real nice. But before Abyssius, I'll use Rat's Nest for a little bit. Ideally, I look for an amulet that has like whatever stat we need. Like, what is it? It's probably like Dexterity and Intelligence. So what is our flat crit right now? Our crit right now is 41%. Okay, good, it's currency. Although this area is so tiny, man. Here. Forgot we actually ran blind support. I'm trying to grab the shrine here. There we go. Get the big shrine. I think we're only gonna get up to 2 here. Yeah, we can only get up to 2, so we're gonna just go ahead and hit fast forward for the delirium. I like interacting with certain ones. I mean, everyone has their own preference of what they like. So now we have to defeat the spirits of all 3 of those. Again, like this one over here has the little like auras on the ground, or the debuffs. Where either like move slower, you'll miss, or something along. It's some negative effect. Actually, really, I think it's a cool like quest where you have to get all the organs. We're gonna go back to Dodri. I'm getting hit with all of them. Well, we really haven't dipped too low on HP. It might be kind of hard because low HP is 30 or 35% in this game. I forgot. I might have to look it up again. So as the POE, there's just so much information. Just go look it up after. But we'll worry about that once we actually get the new passive. There we go. This time you don't have to pick up anything. Just once you go ahead and kill him, it'll pop the little like a tree-looking thing. Chance. So on this one there was these little like purple tornadoes. Don't stand inside of them. It does damage. Yeah, our sustain is actually surprisingly really good. But once we complete the game, we will actually gain a huge amount of negative resistances. But it'll be okay for our build. Heck, maybe we need to keep those negative resistances. I was gonna say, because we go up to the Scion Life node every single time. That's the one that grants us plus 14% life. It's like one of the best things in the game, which is this one over here. Since I always get this, occasionally, depending on my resistances, I will go over here, because Sentinel is really good. It gives you 10, and then it gives you increased armor and evasion. Oh, is this thing fighting me? Okay, well, let's kill this thing first.
I can't do this just yet.
And get him down real quick. I think this is the actual one. There we go. So anyways, like I was saying, in terms of resistances, I plan to go at Lyra since I'll have extra crit strike multiplier. With that one, plus it's mainly for the resistances later down the line, that are totally fine. Or I can just get the 2 extra passive skill points, but I like getting this because it gives us 10, and then this one gives us 18, 18, and 18 to whatever one that I need. And then it, more importantly, has the jewel socket that I think is very valuable as well. We actually haven't messed around with jewels, but yeah, that will be another thing to go ahead and grab. If I want to. It depends on how good and tanky the build is. It might just be too tanky. But I need to make it tanky enough to survive those things that would technically like one-shot. We are done. We got kind of low on that one. And then we gotta fight, like, reminds me of the boss in Devil May Cry 2. There's a giant fusion of all of them. Watch out for that one. That thing is just... There's just some things that you just gotta dodge in this game. Even on like the big slam hit, it's not even putting me at low life. Alright. Hello guys, how you doing? Now we can go ahead and move on. Move on to the final act over here. So, we'll talk to one of these. Okay, we'll sail to Oria. So now we're on Act 10, which is the final act before we get into like the end game content here. But one thing I do want to go ahead and do is actually go back and do a quest that will grant us a skill point in Act 8, which is called Love is Dead. So what we're going to actually do is Clarissa, the one that had like the lover, that was kind of like getting electrocuted. We're going to go ahead and get the Ankh. Let's see. Actually, I think it's going to be to the right. So this is the right of the exit. Okay, so we'll do all the skill point quests. After you finish the game, you can type in /passives, and I'll show that. As sometimes I'll forget to do like one of the quests. It's funny. I've done this game so many times, and I still have to be like, all right, I'll have passives. You just type it in, and then it'll tell you exactly what quests that will still have a reward for a passive that you have not completed. So what we're going to go ahead and do is look for the Ankh, and then we're going to go ahead and deliver it to a location. There's the Ankh.
I do love the stink of victory.
Then we gotta go to the Quay. It's kind of a very, very long path, but since this build is fast, we'll get there very quick. You gotta sometimes go on these little boats. Sometimes like there's just that small little path that you don't see. So this is... I forgot if it's this one that's connected or if it just goes straight to because I remember this quest, it says, I think there's another exit over here, if I remember correct. It says that, search the Quay for Clarissa, but she's not actually here. It's something pretty frustrating as, it's another location that you have to go to. So you have to go to the resurrection site. It says the Quay, but yeah, okay. So you find her over here.
Finally, Tom. We can be together as before.
So he basically turns into a zombie man, and so she thinks that this is going to bring him back. Okay. Now we gotta kill Tolman. Sad story.
How could I have princess?
Okay. So now we go to talk to her in town. She'll be like, here's a skill point. But I like how Path of Exile, they don't really have too many like real nice happy endings to a lot of the quests. But I feel like that's like better. Let's see if we talk to some of these guys.
There is nothing else.
Don't do anything.
Okay. So, now we have an extra skill point. Let's go ahead and get those sword crits. We get extra physical damage with swords too. Extra attack speed. And this one does... This is crit strike multiply. Let's see. I'd rather just get the crit strike transfer. I'm just prioritizing all of that. Once we get to... let's... What are we at? Like 50 something? Or 40... Because we're at 36 and it was like pretty sustainable. So once we get to like 60 crit will be really sustainable. Or if I get my other like links ready, like if I can get my 6th link and the last one would be increased crit, well, then we'll be a-okay. But anyways, we're at part 2, act 10 over here. So now that we've done that, like, it's going to go and wrap up this part of our Path of Exile playthrough. That was part 9, act 9. And the last one will be relatively short. But anyways, thanks for doing for part 9, part 10. We'll be up very soon. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.